Hey there guys, it's Char Junior Ryuki here. I thought I'd give a little shout out to Vic Mignogna. And my real name is Brett. You can call me what? Char Junior Ryuki, or call me by my name Brett. I'll make another video later talking about how I came up with Char Junior Ryuki. But let's get back to the shout out here. Vic, I've been a fan of yours for at least almost 10 years, 8 to 10 years. For as long, basically since I started watching Full Metal. And I started Full Metal when I was probably around 15 or so, somewhere around there. And it's been a while. And I kind of relate to that little pipsqueak because I'm short myself. And I have a fiery temper like Ed. So I kind of related to him in some sort of way. Even though, to be quite honest, I'm not quite as close to my siblings as he is to Al. But we get along alright. But I like what you do. I like you do what you do for your fans. And continue your work because you're awesome. I seen a video or some pictures that some anime fan, obviously a fan of yours, must be a Risible Rager, called you the Chuck Norris of anime. Well, in my opinion, you deserve that title. So good on you. And let's see. Star Trek continues. I've seen all the videos that came out, all the episodes so far. You guys did awesome. I'd have to say that Todd makes a pretty good Spock. And you're an awesome Captain Kirk. So I hope it continues. I have a couple of questions on top of my head since I don't know if I'll ever be able to get to go to take a vacation sometime and maybe go to a convention. You notice I have my phone here, so at the end of this video I'm going to quote a line from Full Metal, the entire line. So if any of you or any Risible Rangers find my channel, it's Char Junior Ryuki. I just started it a month ago. I've only got 3 videos. 2 of Pokemon Part 1 and 2, challenging the Pokemon League. And Dragon Ball Xenoverse. You play Brawly. Pretty good. I like the game so far. And I've only got 1 video of those. This is the first vlog video. And see, first question. It's related to the Full Metal Fantasy. I have your concert DVD. I've bought that. And I've been wanting a long time, like any other fan, been wanting to see Full Metal Fantasy. And I watched the entire concert DVD, and it's awesome, dude. It's awesome. Good energy, good everything, dude. You did everything right. And to get to my question here, Full Metal Fantasy. When I watched that, it was pretty good. Some parts were pretty funny, and it was. And I liked how some of the voice actors, played their roles, not just throughout the show, voicing them, but actually playing the character itself in this film. You all did a good job. Fantastic job. I don't know if anybody came up to you about this and asked you about it. I seen a video of some fans taking your idea of continuing the legacy of Ed and Winry and Al and just, making another story. What, and again, calling it, it's like they started a manga together themselves, and they gave it to you, Full Metal Legacy, with Ed's daughter and his son going out on a journey. Ed's daughter obviously having the fiery attitude of her father and being able to be awesome alchemist, and his son being the gadget maker like his mom, Winry. I know filming Star Trek continues and going to all these conventions and recording would takes up a lot of time, and I know you're a pretty busy guy. It's one of the reasons why I respect you as much as I do, and I don't email you very much, and it's only because of that. One of my latest emails that I sent you was about my book that I'm working on, and you gave me great advice. So I'm going to be working on it once I get my Microsoft Word product key working again. Once I get that working again, I'll continue to work on it. Once I have it finished, I'll make darn sure that all of the, every conversation is a little bit longer, a little bit more interesting. From what I described with others, and maybe even a couple Risible Rangers as well when I first brought it up, that it kind of grabs you, because I call it a murder mystery, because it's got everything that you'd want. It's got love, it's got romance, it's got, like the bad guy brings down, brings back so much darkness that you need a hero to bring that spark, to bring that hope, that light back in, to give everybody that reason to fight, a reason to stand up. And well, you gave me good advice, and I'm taking that to heart. So I'm going to be working on it, and when it's all said and done, I'll either shoot you another video or an email. I might even decide, if I didn't have the time to go get it published, if I ever get to that point, I might just take it and make a little slideshow of it, or a little video of it, or something of the sort, and put it on YouTube. I don't know. It's called A Night That Could Never Be Forgotten. And referring to my question, going back to that here, I don't know if anybody come up and asked you, but if there was time for you to do this, or to anybody, any other voice actor would be willing to do this, is to create either a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, such as Full Metal Fantasy, as kind of a bit of more of an action little film, like the end fight, something of that maybe. You get a little sadness, you get a little action, and then you get a bit of that happiness that comes back towards the end, which would lead to Full Metal Legacy, the idea that you came up with Ed's family. If not, what about Full Metal Legacy as Full Metal Fantasy? Having you cosplay as Ed again, and having Winry, I can't remember her name, so I apologize. And having a couple younger actors, or even having some of the Risible Rangers play Ed's daughter or Ed's son, and have it start out like they're beginning as they're learning, as they're growing up, kind of throughout the story, and have them going out on their own journey. You know, having something like that. It's a good idea. My second question is about bullying. And I seen someone, I also subscribed to this guy. He was at SoccerCon, and you, like, almost right off the bat, started talking about bullying, and about as soon as you got casted as Reen in Free, the anime, a lot of people, especially in the anime fan era, who were a fan of that show, did not like you being a part of the show. They wanted you to be casted as somebody else or not even in there. And I think that's just childish, man. I agree with you. And it's been a while since I've seen you tear up in any videos, dude. I've seen you tear up when the Wristable Rangers gave you album thing, like pictures, drawings, stuff like that. For your birthday, your mom and girlfriend surprised you with it in your hotel room. I've seen that one. I hardly ever see you tear up in that kind of way in your video, in any video that I see on YouTube. And I've been a victim of bullying, but I also played on both sides. Why I did that was, why would I say that, is because I wanted to find out at that time when this was all happening to me, why would someone go that far to cross that line and make someone else feel bad and make their life miserable? What I got was to make them forget what's happening to them, make them feel powerful, make them a step above everybody else. Use anger and fear to control everyone, including and money, and control everything that goes on in that school by trying to hide and blame somebody else for what they've done. Here's a story. I'm actually neighbors to these kids that were a victim of bullying from somebody else in my class who has the same first name as I do. That's what the mix-up was. Basically, I was set up to take the blame for it. One of them was in first grade. And some of us just got done with our PE class, and we were just waiting for the bell to ring to go to our next class. And they were walking down and the hallway, and they were just standing there waiting. They were obviously doing something. And the guy who has the same name as I do, he's up here, thought it'd be funny to pick on this kid. This kid didn't say anything. He just smiled. He obviously knew what was going on. And he walked away, and he talked to the teacher. And next thing I know, I'm in my next class, and I get a phone call, or the teacher gets a phone call, and I get told to go to the office. And I'm like, why am I going to the office? What did I do? So I walk in there, and then it hits me. And that flips that switch. I start getting irritated. And I sat down in the chair before even the principal even said anything. And the principal, no offense, and pardon my language, but he's a dick. He always takes the bully's side. It doesn't matter what you say. It's always the bully is the victim. It's never the victim. You know, the victim gets punished twice. He gets punished by the bully and he gets punished by the principal, which means the principal's screwing up and he's not listening. Why? Because all those people that bully, especially bullied me, had money. That's greed. That's one of the reasons why he was favoring those people. And it's still happening today. But anyway, he started jumping on me about bullying that kid. And I said, number one, I shouldn't be in here. You have the wrong Brett. You have the wrong guy. And he goes, what do you mean? I was told that you were picking on him. You were bullying him. And I'm like, really? How many times have I been in here and told you my classmates were harassing and bullying me and hitting me for no damn reason, pardon my language, and you did nothing and blamed me for it when I absolutely did nothing to cause the problem in the first place, to cause the action to happen. They just did it because it made them feel good. And you're protecting them because they have money. Okay? I'll tell you who's the one who did it. It's the other Brett. Okay? I ain't gonna mention his last name. It was the other one. I can go to Mrs. Howell and tell her straight to her face. And that's exactly what I did. I had left the office and went straight to Mrs. Howell. And I said, I looked at the kid and I said, hey, was I the one picking on you? And I said, Mrs. Howell started, interrupting me, and I said, hey, I'm talking to him. I've already been through this with Mr. Savage because you guys got the wrong guy. I might have been standing there, but you got the wrong guy. I'm gonna ask him again. Don't interrupt me. Now, I knew that was rude, but I was irritated, so I had somewhat of the right to do so. And I looked the kid in the eye, and I asked him as nice as I could, did I say anything to you whatsoever? And he goes, no, it was the other one. I looked at her and I said, there's your answer. And I left. And I get called back again, and I went from the first grade room to the principal's office, and I'm sure you're going to get a phone call from Mrs. Howell here in about 5 minutes. I just went down there and I just asked that kid in the face, made eye contact, and I asked him as nice as I possibly could. Even though I'm pissed at you, I'm pissed at Mrs. Howell, and I'm pissed at the fact that you guys aren't doing anything about your bullying. You have that rule, but you don't do shit about it. And blah, blah, blah. And he goes, okay. I stayed in there. Next thing I know, the phone rings. Obviously from Mrs. Howell. And that was his action. He found out where the other Brett was and called him in the office and sent me back to my class. And next day, at PE, or at the end of PE, he comes up to me and he goes, hey, why couldn't you just take the blame for that? You were standing there, and I looked at him, just because I was standing there doesn't mean I have the right to take the blame for something that you did. All of you guys need to grow up. And then I walked away. See, some people say it's bad to stand up against a bully. Well, that's half right and half wrong. If you're talking to a first grader who's being bullied by a high schooler, then yeah, there's no way that kid's going to be able to stand a chance. Even with the entire class going against the high schooler, they'd have no chance. But if it was another high school kid to another high school kid, at least the victim of the bully would have somewhat of a chance, unless